remember the night it all came crashing down. My hands were trembling as I sat in my studio, the same room where I had welcomed so many people who came looking for healing. The shelves around me glowed faintly from the candles I had lit, their wax dripping slowly down the glass holders. Crystals sparkled under the dim light, but none of them could quiet the storm inside me. I had built my life around this false light, energy healing, meditation, spirit guides. I thought I was helping others, yet when I was alone, I felt an emptiness so deep it was like standing in the middle of a dark canyon with no echo to answer me back. That night, the silence pressed against my chest like a weight. My heart raced. Fear curled its claws around me. For years, I had told people that light surrounded me, but now all I saw was darkness creeping in from the corners of the room. I whispered to myself, why do I feel so lost if I have all this light? That was when a voice inside me whispered something colder than death, because the light you follow is a lie. I did not know it then, but I was standing on the edge of hell itself. Before I continue, I want to pause and thank every single one of you watching. To all my subscribers, your support means more than words can express. For those who are new or returning and have not yet subscribed, I cannot wait for you to join us. Every time you hit that subscribe button, it truly serves as the fuel and energy that keeps this channel alive. Please remember to like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading them and connecting with each of you. Now, let me take you back into my story. My name is Sharon, and I am in my 50s. I live in Minnesota, where winters are long and the nights feel endless. I grew up in a small town here, attending church occasionally as a child. My grandmother would sing hymns in her kitchen, and for a brief moment in my childhood, I felt close to God. But somewhere along the way, life broke that connection. In my early 20s, I walked away from Christianity. To me, it felt narrow, suffocating, and full of judgment. I wanted freedom. I wanted answers to the pain I carried, the pain of rejection, the bitterness of a marriage that crumbled, and the depression that trailed me like a shadow. By the late 1990s, I had embraced New Age practices. Meditation, crystals, energy work, it all promised peace, but only gave me temporary relief. I became well known in my community. People trusted me. They came to my studio seeking healing for their minds and bodies. I would place my hands over them, speak words about energy alignment, and they left believing they had encountered light. But behind closed doors, I was drowning. I suffered from sleepless nights, nightmares, and waves of unexplained fear. I told myself I was powerful, enlightened even, but in truth, I was enslaved. My view of God was distant at best. I told people that Jesus was just another spiritual teacher, no different from the others. Deep inside, I mocked the idea that Christianity was the only truth. I told myself that I had outgrown religion, but in reality, I was running from the conviction in my heart, running from the God I did not want to face. Everything changed on one particular night in December 2019. Snow was piled high outside, the world covered in white silence. Inside my studio, I had set up candles for what I thought would be a deep meditation session. I wanted answers because the depression had become unbearable. My body was tired, my mind exhausted, my soul fractured. As I sat cross-legged on the floor, I closed my eyes and whispered, "Show me the truth." What happened next would rip open the veil I had been hiding behind for decades.
The moment I whispered, "Show me the truth," I felt my chest tighten. At first, I thought it was just anxiety, but then it felt as if invisible hands were gripping my lungs, pressing the air out of me. I gasped, but no sound came. My body grew heavy, then light, as if I was being pulled away from myself. Suddenly, I was no longer sitting in my studio in Minnesota. I was somewhere else. It was darkness, a thick, choking darkness that felt alive, the kind that does not just cover your eyes, but seeps into your bones. I reached out with my hands, but there was nothing to touch, only emptiness. The silence was deafening until it broke with the sound that will forever haunt me: screams. Endless screams of men and women, young and old, their voices blended into one horrific chorus of agony. A stench filled the air, like sulfur, like burning flesh. I gagged, but the smell only grew stronger, wrapping itself around me. My feet felt like they were walking on ground that pulsed, as though it was alive, and beneath it something writhed. I realized with the jolt it was not ground at all, but the backs of countless souls, writhing and weeping, begging for relief that never came. Then I saw them, shadows moving in the darkness. At first I thought they were people, but as they drew closer I realized they were not human. Their bodies twisted and contorted, their faces stretched into grotesque forms. Some crawled like animals, others flew with jagged wings that tore through the air. Their eyes glowed with malice, and their voices whispered one thing over and over: "You followed the wrong light. You belong to us." Fear like I had never known gripped me. My knees shook, my mouth went dry. All the energy work, all the chants, all the crystals I once leaned on were useless here. I had nothing. I was naked before the truth of where I had been heading. Suddenly, I saw people, faces I recognized. A woman I had once done a healing session for, a man who had attended my meditation circle. They reached out their hands toward me, screaming, "You lied to us! You brought us here!" Their eyes were hollow, burning with pain, and their flesh melted away as they cried out. I stumbled backward, shaking my head. No, I did not know. I did not know. But my words were swallowed by the screams. Then came the heat. Flames rose up from the depths, licking at my feet, scorching my skin. Yet I did not burn away. The pain was unbearable, like fire tearing through my veins, but it never ended. I screamed, but my voice blended with the thousands already there. Just when I thought I could not bear it, I felt something cold grip my arm. I looked, and a demon, tall and monstrous, with skin like cracked stone, dragged me closer to the pit. His voice was deep, like thunder underwater. "You are ours. You chose this path." My heart pounded so hard I thought it would burst. I tried to fight, but my strength was gone. The pit roared beneath me, flames twisting upward like serpents. I knew this was not a vision. It was real. I was in hell. But then, through the chaos, I heard a sound, a voice. It was not like the screams. It was not like the taunts of the demons. It was strong, commanding, filled with an authority I had never known. The voice said, "Sharon, call upon my son." I froze. My name, spoken with such power it shook the very ground beneath me. The demon growled, tightening his grip, dragging me closer. The souls cried out louder. The flames roared higher. And again, the voice thundered, "Call upon my son." I hesitated. For years I had denied him, mocked him, replaced him with false lights. Could I now? Did I even have the right? The demon hissed into my ear, "It is too late. You belong to us." My chest burned, my vision blurred, and with every ounce of strength I had left, I screamed, "Jesus, save me!" At that very moment, everything changed.
When I cried out the name of Jesus, the darkness trembled. The demon gripping me let out a guttural scream as though fire had pierced its own flesh. Suddenly, a light broke through the blackness. Not the cold, counterfeit glow I had known from crystals and meditation, but a holy, living light that carried authority. It was not just brightness, it was purity. The moment that light touched me, the flames could not reach me. The voices of the damned faded into a distant echo. The demon recoiled, covering its face as if burned, and then vanished into the shadows. I was suspended in a peace so foreign, so overwhelming, that my soul wept. I heard the voice again, gentle now, but firm. It said, "Sharon, I have saved you, but go back. Tell them I am real. Tell them I am the only light." Tears streamed down my face. "But Lord," I whispered, "I do not deserve this. I followed lies. I led others astray." The voice answered, "My mercy is greater than your past. My blood is enough, but warn them, for many are deceived, and their end will be destruction." In an instant, I was pulled back. My eyes snapped open, and I found myself lying on the cold wooden floor of my studio. My body was drenched in sweat, my throat raw from screaming. The candles had burned low, their flames flickering as if shaken by a wind. I gasped for air, clutching my chest, realizing I had been given another chance. The days that followed were unlike anything I had ever known. The first thing I did was gather every crystal, every book, every idol I had filled my life with. I threw them into a box, carried it outside, and burned them. As the flames consumed what I once worshipped, I felt chains breaking inside me. I bought a Bible, the same book I had once dismissed, and began to read. At first, it was confusing, but as I read the words of Jesus, something stirred in me. It was as if the voice I had heard in the pit was now speaking through the pages. I wept for hours when I read, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Those were no longer just words, they were life itself. My depression began to lift. Nightmares that once plagued me stopped. I could finally sleep in peace. Relationships that had been broken slowly began to heal. I called my estranged daughter, and through tears I told her the truth of what happened. For the first time in years, we spoke like mother and daughter again. Even my heart toward my ex-husband changed. I forgave him, something I never thought possible. I am no longer the same woman. The pride, the obsession with control, the false light, all of it is gone. I live now with a holy fear of God and a deep love for Jesus Christ. I know hell is real because I have been there. I know Jesus saves because he saved me. To you watching this right now, I need to tell you, do not play games with your soul. Hell is not a story to scare children. It is real. It is eternal, and many are being deceived by lights that look harmless but lead only to death. I once believed all paths led to God, but that was the biggest lie of my life. If you are searching, stop running. Jesus is not one of many ways. He is the only way. Do not wait until it is too late to discover that truth. Let me leave you with 2 words that have become the banner over my life. Every false light will one day lead to eternal darkness. The mercy of Jesus is greater than your deepest sin. Friend, if he could rescue me from the gates of hell, he can rescue you too. Before I close, I want to ask you 2 questions. Have you ever trusted in something you thought was light, only to discover it left you empty? And what do you believe would happen to you if today was the last day of your life on earth? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I truly want to hear your heart. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every time you do, this message reaches more souls who need to hear it. Thank you for staying with me through my story. May it not just be another testimony you heard online, but a call for you to examine your own soul. Jesus saved me from hell, and he is reaching out to save you too.